Those who saw the blind man who now can see, were astonished how his eyes were opened. To which he said, a man called Jesus put clay to my eyes, and now I see. In verses 13 to 34, the now seeing man was brought to the Jews, to the Pharisees, who asked him the same question, how he received sight. After telling them Jesus put clay on his eyes, and after washing he was able to see, the Pharisees told him that Jesus is not from God because he does not observe the Sabbath. Later, as they were talking, the seeing man told the Pharisees that Jesus is a prophet, but still the Jews did not believe him. His parents were called and questioned. But being the parents they testified that it is their son. And he really was blind from birth. But the parents played safe because they feared the Jews. The parents declared that they don't know these things. They don't know who opened his eyes because they are afraid of the Jews. His parents said these things because they feared the Jews, for the Jews had agreed already that if anyone confessed Jesus is the Christ, he would be put out of the synagogue. They even told the Pharisees, ask him, he's already old. He can speak for himself. So when the seeing man was confronted again by the Pharisees, he said in verses 32 and 33 of John chapter 9, since the world began, it has been unheard of that anyone opened the eyes of the one who was born blind. If this man, Jesus, were not from God, he could do nothing. Next slide, please. John chapter 9, verse 35, Jesus said to him, because in verse 34, we see that the man was excommunicated. The two miracles, the healing of the paralytic, the healing of the blind man, as soon as they get healed, they go to the synagogue to give grace to God for their miracle healing. And when Christ came back at the synagogue, he saw the now seeing man. And he asked him, do you believe in the Son of God? You have both seen him, and it is he who is talking with you. That's the conversation between the blind man and Jesus Christ. Then he said, Lord, I believe, and he worshipped him. We could draw from these verses in chapter 9 the unwavering support of the blind man who received his sight. We can see the man solidifies his support for Jesus before the Jewish leaders. He did not hesitate to engage this learned man in a debate about spiritual matters. He was not swayed by the popular belief by others that he does not have such ability, being blind from birth. He demonstrated courage and steadfastness even to the point of being excommunicated. One time in our Bible study, Brother Clyde said he was unsynagogue. Was kicked out of the synagogue. To early Jew people, the synagogue plays a very important place in their life, in their way of life. Synagogue is where to go, you know. It's like these teenage kids who have the mall is the place to go. During those times, it's the synagogue where we should go. So the now seeing man was immovable, unwavering, stable, firm. He was steadfast. In the New Testament, the word steadfast was mentioned 36 times. As one made whole by God through the saving knowledge of His Son Jesus Christ, believers should be like this blind man. In 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 58, we were told, we were exhorted, commanded to be steadfast, unmovable, always abiding in the word of the Lord. Amen? Colossians 1, verse 23, continue in the faith, grounded and steadfast, and not moved away from the hope of the gospel which ye heard, which was preached in all creation under heaven. 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 3. But the Lord is faithful, and He will make you steadfast, and will guard you from the evil one. John chapter 11 gives us the account of the raising of Lazarus from the dead. Let's all together read. John 11, verse 43. Now when he has said these things, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth! And he who had died came out bound hand and feet with grave clothes, and his face was wrapped with a cloth. Jesus said to them, loose him and let him go. Then many of the Jews who had come to Mary and had seen the things Jesus did believed in him. The miracle of Jesus in John chapter 11 was done in front of many witnesses. The Jews who mourned with Martha and Mary saw Lazarus raised from the dead. Some believed in him, while others went and told the Pharisees what Jesus had done. The raising of Lazarus from the dead helped to provoke the killing of Jesus. You could read that in chapter 11, verses 47 and 53. And it even caused the chief priest to decide to kill Lazarus also. Chapter 12, verses 9 and 10. But most importantly, after the resurrection of Lazarus, he became a powerful witness for Jesus. John 12, verse 11. The miracle was also a key reason the crowd met Jesus when he rode into Jerusalem. Remember the triumphal entry? In these three miracles, God seems to allow the miracles to progress from the easy to the more difficult. Notice the paralytic, he could still move. But not as quick or as fast as the others who are waiting for the water in the well to be stirred up. He still has mobility. The second miracle about the blind man, I wish I'm blind today, but no. Blind man cannot see, cannot move without the help of others or a cane. No, cannot see. And here is Lazarus. After his sickness, he died. but was resurrected